I've tried several times to buy a Bullitt and just never came around to doing it. But why? I have 3 of them here and a Mach 1. So welcome back to this edition of Easy Street Garage. We're here in studio on location, and I got to tell you, this is a pretty exciting opportunity to meet with Tony Alonso. Easy Street Garage, guys, is basically a consortium or a group of guys that are aficionados of the Mustang product line and quite frankly, any vehicle, any motorsport type of vehicle. And then, of course, the other piece of the puzzle is that we also are enthusiasts and we happen to be authors. So Tony and I are the 2 authors. I'll take the YouTube piece of it and he takes the book side of it. However, this is pretty exciting to have you in-house, and it really started to really kind of materialize in my life when I hooked up with you. Yeah. I hooked up with Colin Wayne, and then also Rick Ortlip, and you guys, all 3 Bullitt guys, and here we are in Woodward at Woodward Dream Cruise, and there was a big Bullitt event, and that was my first exposure to this car, which really caught my attention. And I've tried several times to buy a Bullitt and just never came around to doing it. But why? I have 3 of them here and a Mach 1. So I live vicariously through you guys on the Bullitt. A member of the Mustang Club of America, you probably get this at some level of your membership. If you don't, you should, because this is the last Mustang publication out there. Yeah. And the stories are great.
Yeah, very good stories, and also a lot of lifestyle stuff from the hobby, which like you say, you don't really see it anywhere else.
You really don't.
Not too much, anyway.
No, you really don't. So, but what I will say is that if you don't get the book, you ought to. And I do know that I have a signed copy of this book by Tony. And this was just a recent article that Tony had submitted to Mustang Times, and it's absolutely spot on for the Bullitt. And it really highlights where we're going to go next in this discussion. So with that said, so I'm going to roll back a little bit again. Here we are at Woodward, met a guy by the name of Scott Hogue, met you, met these 2 other chaps that had Bullitts, and it was really kind of a cool, inner circle, so to speak. Something happened that triggered you to author this amazing book, which we'll talk about now, and we'll get into some more about that.
Yeah, it was a moment in Bullitt history, and what I'll say, Scott, is this: you talk about the kind of the club or the society of Bullitt owners that's been around for Ford's feature cars ever since the 2001 model, which was the first model that was produced. So in January of 2018, I was very fortunate to witness the unveiling of the 3rd feature car, the 2019 Mustang Bullitt,
right?
The 50th anniversary celebration model, plus long thought, gone, and we would never see it. One of the actual cars from the movie Bullitt.
Right.
Yeah, that was January 14th. 2018, that was a moment in Bullitt history, and the Bullitt sunshine came down and hit me in the head, and
lo and behold, there's the Bullitt that Steve McQueen drove. And there was a fellow standing, I'm sure, next to it by the name of Sean Kearney.
Yes.
And he's the proud owner. His father was.
Yeah, his father was a proud owner.
Right.
And of course, Sean, as you know, sold that car in January of 2020 after taking on tour. And so there's a lot of Bullitt awareness and enthusiasm that's out there. And that's something that I really wanted to capture in a book, because I've seen it develop with the 2001 model, the 2008-2009 model, and now the 2019-2020 model. So
we had an opportunity to stay up with Sean down in Somerset, Kentucky one evening till about 2 in the morning.
we did.
And we talked about and shared Bullitt stories. His father and the purchase of the car, all the way to what just in a few months later would be the sale of the car. Mustang Bullitt Generations. And you talked about it already. 01, 08, 09, 19, 20. Okay. So that's kind of a neat story. Where did this, so I know where the Bullitt end of this began, right?
Yeah.
Now we've talked about that. Where did your passion for cars start?
I think I must have been genetically predisposed to it because my father worked for General Motors in one of the manufacturing facilities. And then my grandfather, my mom's dad, helped him to get that job. And so I was always growing up exposed to something about cars. The industry was putting food on our table.
So do you remember your first Mustang?
I remember my first Mustang. It was a 1994 Mustang GT. The
Nice.
last of the old 5 liters.
Right.
And even though those engine outputs have been far exceeded with the current Mustang 5 liters.
Even the EcoBoost, actually.
Even the EcoBoost.
Right.
Yeah, sure. That was the first Mustang, which led to a string of them.
You have all this knowledge, and others have all this knowledge. What do you do with it?
Yeah, what do you do with it? Well, besides sitting around and talking to people about it, right, at car shows.
It has to be captured.
It has to be captured. And I was thinking this was a chance to capture some history based on the time of when I really got enthusiastic about these specialty Mustang models. That one now that I had owned, which was that 2003 Mark 1. But I wanted to get all of that knowledge that was in his head and all those stories out. So yeah, with all that history and being an observer of it as it was going on, I'm like, that's great stuff. And
we need that.
We need that. We should put it in a book, because that's one way to preserve history.
That's excellent. So at that point, out rolls the book by you and Scott called "The Enthusiast, the Engineer Equals Excitement."
Yep.
And so with that said, 2.5 years later, out rolls days ago this book called Mustang Bullitt Generations. And so tell us about this book, which by the way is 15 chapters, you were telling me, 144 pages. It is a softback book. It is absolutely jam-packed with a lot of cool stuff. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I thumbed through it just a little bit ago. So tell us a little bit about this book.
Yeah, I want to show the viewers, if you don't mind, the just peek at the cover a little bit. And the reason I wanted to do that was because the cover art shows all three generations plus the inspiration for them all. This was done by artist Danny Whitfield. And I've gotten to appreciate his art, and so I knew when I was going to do this I wanted to get something from him, and I thought cover art would be wonderful.
It is kind of cool, and then from the heavens you see the original Bullitt right up here, overlooking, looking down at the children.
Looking down at the children, exactly. In this book, I really wanted to do a couple of things. One, I wanted to give a little bit of background about where does the Bullitt Mustang come from, what was the original inspiration, plus I wanted to look at each car because there are things that link them together in terms of either their design or their performance or the reaction that people have to them. And interestingly enough, even though they're three different body styles, there's a lot of similarities in each one of those that kind of tie them together, and that's really what the book is about. And then I wanted to take some time and also capture some of the owner information in here. Right, it's great to have all the technical information. This book covers technical engineering information from the Ford engineers who worked on all the generations of them, but also to get the owners and what they think about it, how they feel when they drive them, why are they drawn to it, all that. Again, because I've sort of lived through this history, watched this history, seen my own reactions to each generation along the way. So that's what's in here.
The people make up the hobby and the sport. And it's interesting when you go to some of these shows and you see the persona or the individuals that have done these tribute cars, and they have basically become Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah.
And I mean, down to the steering wheel being the GT500 steering wheel, to the clothing they're wearing, the hairdos they have, and it's just absolutely, I love to hear the stories. So some of these tribute cars are quite amazing. Certainly the 19 and 20 body style is quite incredible. I've driven yours. Performance-wise, it's amazing. I even had the privilege to go to the proving grounds in Romeo and do a track day with the car. And it absolutely, I own a GT350, and I would tell you it performed equally as well as this GT350. Here and there about it for 2.5 years, and now there it is in the making. You must be very proud of it, and I certainly, as a friend of yours, am very proud of it. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you, and
it's really cool.
Appreciate you giving me a time to talk about it. I did want to mention one thing about it here. In addition to this book, which I'd shared, there's also, I have 2 editions of this book, and the other part that makes up this effort is something called Bullitt Time, which was written by Brad Bowling, who's the historian for the Mustang movie car. And so Bullitt Time can be found in the what I call expanded edition of this book. So if you order the expanded edition, you actually get 2. This is a 24-page supplement to this book. So if you're really a buff of the movie cars, this is their insight.
So the Bullitt Book Club is unique because it consists of owners, engineers, and also marketing people, but just enthusiasts that don't even have the Bullitt. You just follow the legacy of this product. So how does that work?
I have to say, very fortunate. There are some Bullitt enthusiasts that from the old days, when the first model came out, took it upon themselves to organize Bullitt owner-specific events. I wanted people to get an opportunity to hear from some of those folks directly because they had input into this book. Yes, I wrote the words, but it's getting their stories and their perspectives and views. What I love about the Bullitt Book Club is that we're getting a chance to connect, even though in this time of the pandemic, where we can't have big groups, and stuff like this, we at least get a chance to connect.
So if you buy the book, do you get into the book club, or do you have to still sign up for that?
We'll sign up for it. Just we want to give people a chance. They may not be very interested in the virtual setup. Or whatever.
So that link is going to be down below. It's www.fmb, and that's generations.com. Pretty simple. And so the link is down below. Click that. You can go directly there. You can buy this book, $30 for this edition, and then add to supplement to it, it becomes $45. And this is the edition to get. To me, this would be the coffee table piece to have for the future.
These 2 come bundled together. They're a nice little resealable poly bag, and they have a little sticker that says, one of.
Oh, really cool.
2 of 500.
Tony, this has been a privilege to get you to come out.
Thank you.
I really didn't need to. He's here. His cars are here.
My cars are here. I got to come out.
So So I cornered him. I said, aha. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to this edition of Easy Street Garage. Hey, listen, don't forget, smash the subscribe button. Hey, give Tony a thumbs up. Forget about me. And stay tuned to Easy Street Garage because we've got more coming your way here in the near future. So, this is Easy Street Garage. Subscribe. Hey, guess what? We're out of here.